Praise be the Messiah, and today we are taking a look at Liber Mechanicum 3.0, Forces of the Automata Army book. Now, at the start, I would like to issue a disclaimer. I am new to Horus Heresy. I have not played 2.0, therefore I do not have the baggage of players that have been in the hobby of Horus Heresy for a very long time. My look could be considered more neutral. But I am aware that there are some changes from 2.0 to 3.0 that are negative. They won't affect us nearly as much as the Space Marine players, because most of the, overwhelming majority of the issues that people had with the Libra books for Adeptus Astartes and Chaos Astartes were in those two books, not in Mechanicum or the Custodes PDF that came out, or the Solar Auxilia PDF. Now, of course, the free PDF came out on Warhammer community website that fixed a lot of the issues that people had, complaints that people had. Not all, mind you, there are still some missing units and war gear options, but it's a good start. Now, if I'll be perfectly honest, if Horus Heresy is going to become a 3-year game, 3-year cycle of a game, like 40k is, I will strongly suggest that you do not buy the books. If possible, find them online for free, and use any free online army builder. For example, New Recruit. I am using New Recruit myself. This video is not sponsored by New Recruit. They are updating it regularly, very often, and the experience that I had with it is very good, very positive. There are very few errors that I'm noticing when building the Mechanicum list. So I would strongly suggest having a look at New Recruit if you want to build a army. Of course, the good old pen and paper is still viable, as it seems like the Liber books are not being outdated the moment they're released, like the 40k codexes. So that's good. But yeah, I am aware of all the negatives and all the drama surrounding 3.0 release, of all the Saturnine issues, of the recalls and so on. But as I say, I want to focus on Liber Mechanicum. This is where I decided to enter the hobby. I do play 40k, as I've mentioned. I play Adeptus Mechanicus, obviously. I play Blood Angels, and I have quite large collections. And I wanted something different, something, you know, a bit that has more granularity to it, or however you pronounce that, you know, with all the war gear points costs and stuff like that, adding models to the units, making the units sizes not equal, because you can actually individually add the models, unlike in 40k, where if you take a squad that has 1 or 2 models less, you're actually punished. So I've been putting off getting into 30k for a long time, and I actually wanted to get into it, but then I heard the rumors of the 3.0 releasing, so I decided to hold off on that. And all the drama did not encourage me to start 3.0, but my local game store is obviously, as they should, making a big push because it's a new thing. It'll obviously sell, like all new things do. No matter what kind of a boycott you try to push on the internet, it very rarely works. And as we see from the data that GW is producing, most of the products sell. There are a couple flops here and there, obviously, but in general, it seems like there must be some sort of a major internet action happening among all the creators, all the hobbies, all the people involved in the hobby, for GW to actually take a step back. Now, it did kind of happen with the Saturnine with 3.0 because of the PDF file that was released for free. And it seemed like it was created in a sort of a frenzy and a panic, because there were some typos in it, there were some errors in it, especially the big debacle with the Tartarus Terminators suddenly becoming 2 separate squads, having Powerfists and not Powerfists. But anyway, I wanted to start with 3.0, see what the game is like. I have watched battle reports that people praise the system. I have seen battle reports where people complain about the system, but I believe that the truth is always somewhere in the middle. I am yet to play my first game, as I'm still building my army. I will show you the picture of what the army looks like and what stage I'm at the end of the video. I'll add a picture. But yes, I am excited mildly optimistic for the future of 3.0. We'll see where it will go. Like I said, time will tell. We just have to wait and go through the motions at this point. But yeah, I'm really liking the Liber Mechanicum. I had a quick glance when I bought the book. And from my limited understanding of 3.0 and of the Horus Heresy in general, it seems like Mechanicum is actually alright. They're not great, they're not amazing from what I've seen so far, but they're playable, which is the main thing. And that's coming from someone that has been playing Mechanicum since they were in 2 separate codexes, right? Skitaria and Admech. And I've been playing them since also throughout the entire 10th edition, and I know what a badly written codex looks like that is literally unplayable. So Liber Mechanicum to me at least looks playable, which it's a bonus, considering the quality disparison between various GW rule writers. I don't know who pays some of them, but hey. Anyway, that's enough of me yapping. Let's have a look at the Liber Mechanicum. In this video will be split into 2 parts. In the first part, we will be focusing on all the units. We will have a look at their stat lines, at their weapon gear, at their abilities, and we'll go through all the special abilities that they have. I also have a rulebook, which I don't think will be important for this video, but it might come in handy for the next videos, because this channel will be primarily about 30k Mechanicum and 40k Mechanicus. This is what I want to focus on. Also, I am not a competitive player, I am a semi-competitive, where I don't go to all the big tournaments in America because of visa problems, and also I have a job which I need to, you know, I can't just get like a couple of weeks off whenever I want. So, you know, I attend my local game store, I play in the area, I attend some tournaments here and there. I started playing in the league that launched recently, doing quite well in it. So I would consider myself to be a semi-competitive player, but I don't hop from army to army that is considered to be the most viable to win the tournament with, right? I mean, I play ad Mechanicus, for Christ's sake. But yeah, let's crack on with it and see what Liber Mechanicum has to offer. At the start, we have a very nice looking Imperium of Mankind map. I would like to buy this print, if it would be available, as like a poster or maybe a mat. I don't know if you can see, but underneath all of this, I do have a ball mousepad, which has been through some hard, rough times, but yeah, I am also a Blood Angels fanboy. I think in 10th edition, Mechanicum took over my allegiance, but we'll see what happens in the next edition, which will launch probably next year. Anyway, we're talking about 30k, enough of 40k. But yeah, this is mostly focusing on Ultima Segmentum, I see. Which is alright, I mean, I feel like we've always seen a lot of Ultima Segmentum. We have a few of the major planets, like obviously Terra, there's Mars beside it. We have Inwit, Imperial Fists, Nocturne, which I believe is Salamanders. I could be wrong. I'm not too well versed in the first founding chapters. Or sorry, Legions. Chapters is 40k. Macragge in the Ultra Smurf region, very nice. We have Ball, besieged by someone. Very cool. Yeah, no, this looks good. Looks pretty well detailed. Now, it'll be obviously different than from 40k because there's no Citrix Maledictum, right? But yeah. Now, forward. Combat is not an art, the magi of the Mechanicum, but rather a brutally callous science. For everything has its weakness. All things can be broken and dismembered if one knows when and where to apply force. The warriors of the Mechanicum are terrifying threshing machines of destruction, untiring and utterly implacable. Once they have engaged the foe, it is only a matter of time until it is reduced to dust and ash. Very nice quote. Feel like it gives you a bit of a sense of what Mechanicum truly is. Cold and calculated. Cool. Contents. This is important. We'll go over them briefly. The first 3 points. Building a Mechanicum list, the detachments and war gear list, because every Liber has every army has like a special detachment or so on. High Command. We have Archmagos and Archmagos on Abiant. Command, we have, I hope you can see this. I'll need to check what's the quality of the camera like, because it's my first time doing this sort of a setup, and I'm new to the whole YouTube thing as well, so we'll see. Magos on Abiant, Arcutor Magisterium. In Retinue, we have Silax Guardian Maniple and Echidanax Servo Maniple. Elites, Domitar Battle Maniple, Myrmidon Secutor Host, Myrmidon Destructor Host. Heavy Assault, we have 2, Castellax Destructor Maniple and Ursarax Cohort. Now in troops, which is important, we have our tax unit, Tech Priest, which is not bad when we look at the cost of how much we have to pay and what they actually bring to the table. And you might think, wait, why are Tech Priests in troops? But it actually makes sense with how you create lists and how the automata especially work in this edition. So we'll go over that once we get to the data cards. Also, my vocabulary is tainted by 40k because I've been playing it for so long. So if I, if I'll say, like, instead of Mechanicum, I'll say Mechanicus, it's because my brain is hardwired for 40k still. So it'll take me some time, but hey. Support, we have Tech Troll Covenant, Talax Cohort, and Castellax Battle Maniple. War Engines, we have the imposing Thanatar Siege Maniple, which we can see on the left. Very cool model, very chunky. And we have Armiger Moirax, which is a walker, I believe, a baby knight, I think. Heavy Transports, we only have 1, we don't have the drill. Triros Armored Conveyor. Recon, we have Vorax Attack Maniple, a fast attack singular as well, Voltarax Stratos Squadron. Armor, we have 3 tanks, Karachnos Assault Tank, Cryos Battle Tank, Cryos Venator. Tech Arcana will get into them, Cybernetic Rights will get into it. For the Dark Mechanicum, Machina Malefica, we have Decimator, Blood Slaughterer, Brass Scorpion, Kite and Demon Engine. And then we have 2 known Dark Mechanical personalities, Archmagos Scoria and Archmagos Drykavak. And then appendices, which is whatever. Cool. I mean, it seems a lot. Seems like there are a few options missing, and a couple of those options, like for example, the drill is actually in the free PDF on Warhammer Community. This is fucking insanely cool. I like that. This is like a whole planet just decided to be filled. Somebody built a planet-sized ship that acts as a droplet. Look how small the knight is. That's nuts. Jeez, they're tiny, and the tanks up front. Right, we have a brief history of the Tagmata, how they work. Legio Cybernetica, which is important. Tagmata Chrome Castellax, a very cool color scheme, black with gold and trim. Looks very imposing. We have the organization of Mechanicum, how everything fits together. We have all the separate let's call them wings for now, of the army. We have the Titan Legions, Bound Knights, which are also part Legio Cybernetica, the Tagmatas, the Forge World, and basically what's under them. Yeah, if you're curious, and the camera allows you to see, to hopefully see. Pause and just have a quick read. Yeah, there we go. So this is important. So every model in Mechanicum has a allegiance that you pick, and has a trait that you need to pick. Some units have already pre-picked allegiances and traits, so you can't pick a different one. But this is important when it comes to picking characters, picking your command, high command, and troops. Because, for example, Talax over here, no, that's not Talax. So I am still confusing the names a little bit. Talax are the smaller guys. Thanatar. For example, Thanatar here is a Cybernetica unit. So the way it works is you will need a commanding unit, like a Magos, for example. And when you pick Magos, you need to give him the Cybernetica trait, so he can go together with the unit that has already trait of Cybernetica. If you have a unit of Urasax, they have Lacrimerta. So for them to be eligible to have a unit attached to it, that attached unit has to have the same trait as Urasax, which would be a Magos or a Tech Priest or Archmagos with a Lacrimerta trait. Also, obviously, the allegiance has to be the same, so either heretic or traitor. Either heretic or loyalist, right? You can't mix both. And everything obviously have to have Mechanicum. Right, what does this say? Talking about detachments, right? There are two special detachments for Mechanicum in this book, which should be on the next page, I believe. Oh, maybe next page. This is just a unit profile. It's explaining everything, what the unit, what's what, but it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's good if you are new to Games Workshop systems. It's worth having a read. But if you played if you played as one system or two, it's generally the same with few small things that differ from one system to system, right? For example, in 40k, you do not have leadership, call, willpower, and intelligence. That's just missing. That's different. That's exclusive to 30k, right? But generally, you have every system has a movement. I think every system has weapon skill and ballistic skill, strength, toughness, wounds, and so on, right? But there are a couple that are exclusive to 30k. Now, there we go. Mechanicum, Tagmata are auxiliary detachments. You have Tagmata Cohort, which I feel personally is the best one out of the two, and Apprentice Cadre. The troop slots, I feel like we get enough, so you won't really take this. But it's just I could be wrong, because again, I haven't played, I just made a list and what I think is cool. Not competitive, because again, I don't believe 30k is a competitive game. I think it's a fluffy, scenario-driven, narrative game, and it should be treated as such. But yeah, Tagmata Cohort I feel like is the better one, because you can actually include units like Talax. I think Urasax, I would need to look at the new recruit app, but unfortunately it's on my phone, and my phone is up here recording it. So I'll have to check it later. But yeah, Tagmata Cohort is very useful, and I feel like you will usually have at least one detachment of that. Alright, War Gear list, we have all the points costs. Now, one thing that annoys me is Chainsword and Chain Axe are free. If you played 40k in like 8th or 9th edition, I think it was 8, I can't exactly remember now, it's been a while. But this is how it started for 40k. They started by removing some more insignificant, or how should I put this, of options that seem to be similar enough, and they were making them free. So like in this case, Chainsword and Chain Axe, right? They're both free. Why? Why isn't Chainsword free and Chain Axe is an upgrade because it has more stats, or it gives you something else, for like +1 at least, right? So it started like that in 40k, and I'm slightly terrified that when 4.0 rolls out, because eventually it will, because making new editions prints money for GW, because people will continuously buy new books, new dice, new models, because new edition launched, right? Everyone wants to be on top. So I'm just afraid that next edition, maybe Heavy Chainsword and Heavy Axe will be free as well. You know, everything, most of the things could be free. We don't know, but yeah, that's a worrying sign. But you have your rights, which we'll go over later. Your Mechanicum, Magos gear, pistols, and so on. Just basic costs. It's pretty cool. And then we go into the army, into the actual units. We start with Archmagos, one model. 120 points. Bit of lore, which is pretty cool if you want to read through this. Archmagos, movement 6, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 6, strength 6, toughness 6, wound 6, initiative 4, attacks 4. Not a bad stat line. Leadership 9, cool 10, willpower 9, intelligence 10, save 2+, and invul 4+, which is pretty good. War Gear frag grenades, and then obviously you have a bunch of options to pick from. Do not ask me which one is the best, because I myself do not know. This will come out once I'll play more games. I'll start doing like tactical videos on certain units and of the gear that I think is useful in the given scenario, right? See, traits, allegiance. So that's where you pick traitor or loyal. Mechanicum, that's where you pick your trait, which is Lacrimerta, Cybernetica, Macrotech, and so on, right? Cyberturgist means he can cast the Cyberturgic rights, which is kinda like psychic powers of old, right? Kinda. Feel no pain, simple. For a wound you take, you roll a 5+ and you ignore the wound. Simple. Controller 2. Now, when this unit attaches to a model, to any model basically, I think any model in Mechanicum Army, Controller 2 allows that unit to score victory points based on the number in the bracket. So Controller 2 means if that unit with attached character is an objective, you score 2 victory points. Battlesmith 4 means this unit can heal up to 4 wounds or 4 hull points on a unit that it's attached to, or within 6 inches of, right? Pretty good. Master of Machines means this unit is eligible to attach to automatas, which is important. Firing Protocols 2 means that this unit is eligible to fire 2 ranged weapons in one turn, in one activation. Very good. You can basically equip your model with 2 of the biggest, baddest weapons that it has, and then you can fire them both. Cool. Infantry Command. Archmages on Abiant, 30 points more expensive, 150, a single model. The only difference between this and the one on foot is that the toughness goes up to 7. Initiative drops down to 3, meaning it's worse in melee, but its leadership goes up to 10. And there is 2 rules of note that are not present on the regular one. In here we have Command Throne and Bulky 7. It also explodes on a 6-up. Bulky 7 means if you want to put this in a transport, it would take 7 of the slots that the transport has assigned to. So it's pretty bulky, it's pretty chunk. Command Throne means that whenever you do a reaction with a unit, on a 4+, you are able to do that reaction for free, which is important. It's actually very, very big, because reactions are limited in the game. And again we have the same Allegiance, Mechanicum, and Cyber Turtles. Same upgrades pretty much, I believe. And it starts with frag grenades, and then you just go crazy, right? This is the cool part of 30k. You can customize your models however the fuck you want, and GW can't say shit because it's in their actual rules. Cool. Ursarax. I keep missing one letter. Now, in our command, we have Magos, single model, 100 points. Movement 6, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill, strength, toughness 5, wounds 4, initiative 3, attacks 3, leadership 8, cool 9, willpower 8, intelligence 9, save 2 up, invul 5 up. Slightly worse than the Magos, and you are paying 20 points less, which I would suggest that you always take Archmagos, I feel like. Why wouldn't you? But yeah, you also need a Magos. 100 points, it is what it is. Same, always starts with frag grenades, and then you have the same traits. Special rules, feel no pain, controller, battlesmith. Battlesmith, he's slightly worse at healing or repairing the vehicles. Master of the Machines, officer of the line 2. This is very important, because every Magos with this ability basically allows you to include 2 extra auxiliary detachments in your army, which for Mechanicum is very important. Because they have to be, if I'm not wrong, every detachment has to be dedicated to one of the traits, of the Mechanicum traits. So 1 for Cybernetica units only, 1 for Lacrimerta units, and so on. And when you start building your list, and when you see later on all of the specific units, they are pre-locked to their traits are pre-locked. And it gets very tricky when you're trying to build a list. Mechanicum is very difficult when it comes to list building, and it's very confusing, but once you get a hang of it, and especially if you use new recruit, you will learn it in a reasonable amount of time, I feel like, personally. Upgrades, pretty cool. Magos on Abiant, exact same thing as on Archmagos, 30 points more expensive in that case. In this case, I think it's 20 here, right? To 120, oh no, 150, 30 as well. Yeah, 30 points. You pay 30 points for 1 extra toughness, 1 less initiative, which is, with initiative 2 and 3, it seems to me like they do not want to be in combat, they want to be shooting, especially with firing protocols, right? But you get extra leadership as well, so, you know, it's a trade-off. And you get the Command Throne, which is big. You get bulky, explodes, whatever. Implacable Advance, which we actually need to check, and that's very cool, it's at the very back. It's very easy to check. Implacable Advance. Now, my alphabet, please do not fail me, or I'll look stupid. I know I'm not the smartest person, but like, come on. There we go. Models with this special rule can make volley attacks with other weapons, which is important. Because volley attacks are counted as snapshots, which means, I believe, you can only hit on 6. But with this, and your weapon has to have an assault trait, so there are 2 stipulations to it, right? Now, when it comes to this, you ignore one of them. So, if you have a unit with this ability, any weapon that doesn't have heavy or ordnance, you can treat as assault, which is pretty good. You just get more weapons to fire with. It's always nice. Infantry, Commander, Anti-Grav Heavy, doesn't matter. All the cool upgrades and war gear the same. Now, we have our last command slot unit, Arcutor Magisterium. 115 points, singular model. Now, movement, weapon skill 6, ballistic skill, strength, toughness 5, wounds 4, initiative 4, attacks 5. Leadership cool and intelligence 9, weapon willpower 8, 2 up 5. 5 up feel no pain, battlesmith, martial machines, infiltrate, which is very cool, and arcana benefice, which we'll get to later. Infiltrate 9 means basically, if I'm not wrong, again, my knowledge is limited, but you can deploy the unit outside your deployment zone up to 9 inches away, because that's what the bracket number 9 means, I think. I could be wrong, which if I am, please do correct me. But this model seems like it wants to be in combat, because with initiative 4 instead of 3 and with 5 attacks, it's not bad, and you can equip it with some cool weapons from the Mechanicum melee weapon list. But it also has a pre-taken trait, Malagra, which could be difficult to put into any other, to add it to any other of the units, right? Now, we go into our retinue, Silax, Guardian Maniple, 4 models at 100 points, may include up to 12, for 25 points per model. Weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness 5, movement 6, 2 wounds, initiative 3, attacks 3. Cool 12, which is nice. Leadership 8, I think it's nice. Don't quote me now. But the bigger numbers usually mean better, right? Leadership 8, willpower though, and intelligence 4, save 3, invul 6 up. It is what it is. It has 2 cool rules, phase refractor shields, which means if you're targeted by a range attack, you get +1 to your invul. Pretty cool. So 5 up invul against range attacks. Impact A, which I am not too familiar with that one. Impact. It should be somewhere. Come on. Impact X. On a successful charge, a model with Impact X, special rule temporarily increases a character's by 1. Ooh! So I can put this on your melee stuff. So impact attack. No, it says. Oh, so you get extra attack. Okay, you get 4 attacks basically on charge. Not bad. Cool rule. It's Automata. It's not a Cyberturgis, so it cannot cast spells or litanies or whatever. It has a combat array and rod furnace. Cool. And you can add a bolter for 2 points, which is whatever. Second unit in retinue, we have Echidax, Servo Maniple. 4 models, 40 points, up to 8 additional for 10 points a model. Movement 6. Now weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, strength, toughness 5, wounds 2, initiative 3, attacks 2, leadership 7, cool 12, willpower, intelligence 4, save 3 up, 5 up. It repairs itself, but it has limited autonomy, which means you need a leader in that unit for it to be able to attack and move, which is, you know, it is what it is. And you can add a bolter to it. But it has servo harness. I don't. It's cheap at least, but it's just bodies, I feel like. I think there could be better choices than them. We move on into our elites. Domitar, one of the best looking fucking models I have seen in this range. And I do not have one, and I need to buy one. Preferably from my local game store, but they don't sell it, so it probably would be Recaster, because fuck GW and they're constantly out of stock. Domitar Battle Maniple, 1 model up to for 100 points, may include up to 3 additional 100 points per. Pretty expensive, but I feel like what they bring is important. Movement 7, which is nice. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, nice. Strength, toughness 7, pretty good. Wounds 4, which is nice. Initiative 3, which is Attacks 3, which is okay. Leadership 8, cool 12, willpower and intelligence 4. 2 up, 5 up. Bulky 4, it has the same implacable advance. It explodes, it has impact, so 4 attacks on charge. Very nice. Vanguard, I wish this rule was in 40k. I'm a big fan of this. Vanguard means if a unit that has Vanguard kills an enemy unit that's on an objective, you score 2 victory points. How cool is that? Why can't this be in more systems? Big fan. Fast 2 is, I believe, you add +2 to your charge and rush rolls. Firing Protocols 2, so you can fire both 2 weapons. Firestorm is you ignore snapshots, I think, if I remember correctly. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Firestorm. Yeah, you do not make snapshots. You make regular ballistic skill shots. Perfect. Very good unit. Automata, Cybernetica, so you need somebody with Cybernetica to join them. Diameter Fist, Graviton Hammers, Cyclone Missile Launcher. Okay, not bad. Myrmidon Secular Host. I know in 2.0 I believe these were very good. 1 Lord and 2 Secutors. 150 points. May include up to 7 additionals at 45 points per model. Now, movement 6, weapon skill, ballistic skill 4/4, but the Lord has 5/5. Strength toughness 5, wounds 4, initiative 2, which is attacks 2 or 3 on the Lord. Leadership cool 9, willpower intelligence 8, 3 up, 5 up. It has Vanguard 3, which means you want to push it onto enemy objectives and kill whatever it can. Battle Meditation is only on the Lord, but this only works in a challenge anyway, which is good. It gives the Lord 6 up, feel no pain, but if the enemy's weapon skill is equal to or higher than yours, it's on a 5 up, which makes that unit a viable model to accept challenges, I believe. Now, the initiative hurts it, though. Initiative 2 is very low. Marines, I believe, baseline is 4, and then with a power weapon, it's 3 because it's -1 and so on. So it would still be higher than that, so it's a problem. Twin Graviton Guns and Plasma Fields, so 20 points. Yeah, not bad. Looks right. Heavy infantry, so. Myrmidon, the exact same thing. 150 for a Lord and 2 Destructors, up to 7, 45 points. Exact same stat line as the Myrmidons, I believe. Let's see. Exact same stat line. The only difference is they do not have Implacable Advance. And instead they get different weapon upgrades. Okay. Destructors. Heavy weapons, basically. Darkfire Cannon. Conversion Beamer. Gradation Engine. Yeah, sure. Castellac Destructor Maniple. 100 points for 2, up to 4, 50 points per. Movement 6, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, strength toughness 6, wounds 4, initiative 3, attacks 2, leadership 7, cool 12, willpower 4, initiative intelligence 4, 3 up, 6 up. Bulky, implacable, explodes, firing, armor breaker, which is nice, and it has the phase refractor shields, meaning range attacks give this unit +1 to invul, so 5 up invul, not bad. Armor breaker is important, 4+. I think it's per every wound per every damage that goes through. On a 4 up, you have a chance to do additional point of damage, I believe. I'm not sure if it's in melee or range. We need to double check that later. But that's a very cool rule. Actually, let's check this now. What am I doing? I have the rules here, and it starts with A, which is very simple to find, just like that. Once you score a penetrating hit, roll a dice. If the result of the dice is equal to the X number, you deal 1 extra damage on penetrating. So you have to penetrate the armor first, but if you do on a 4 up, you can deal additional point of damage, which is actually important, considering how many hull points the armor has in this edition, in this game, and the how difficult it is to wound tanks, especially armor 14. So if you get through with anything, pretty cool. And they have Darkfire Cannon and Multi-Melta, 10 points, 15 points. And they are basically with smaller bolt cannons, which I'm not too big fan of. Now, if you give me a second. Because I was meant to do something before starting the recording, but I forgot, and I'm gonna do it now. I brought my boxes with the models I've put together so far, and I wanna show you my Destructor Maniple, Castellax ones. So this is my Castellax, this is how I did it. Pretty simple, straightforward, but I think it looks alright. So that's the Darkfire Cannon. And that's the Multi-Melta with upgraded power blades. Right? Now, as you can see, the shoulder pads are missing because this is actually the very first model I put together. And when I was putting it together, I did not realize that they have shoulder pads. So as we can see the difference. These are way less chunkier, but it is what it is. Now, moving on. Ursarax Cohort. 6 models, 150, may include up to 3 additional 25 points. Movement 10, which is pretty fast. Weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength 4. Toughness 5, 2 wounds, initiative 3, attacks 2. Initiative 3, again, that's disappointing slightly, but hey. Leadership 7 and 8 on Alpha. Cool 12, willpower 4 and 6, and intelligence 4, 3 up, 6 up. They have Deep Strike, which has been nerfed significantly in this edition. But if you include one Horus cohort unit, that doesn't matter to you, right? And it's Vanguard 3, which is very good. I'm not sure which weapon is better, the Claws or the Power Fist, or the Ursax Fists. But you change them for free, so you can try out both without any issues. Now let's go to the next. Oh my, yeah. I do have a 6-man Ursax. Not painted yet. So I only painted a couple of models so far. And I'm starting with the coolest looking ones, which I think are the Castellax ones. Now, Tech Priest, our tax unit, 30 points only, which is very good. Movement 6, weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, strength, toughness 5, wounds 2, initiative 3, attacks 2, leadership, cool, willpower, intelligence 8, simple. 3 up, 6 up, feel no pain 6 up. Controller 1, which is, you know, it's a Tech Priest, so can't expect too much, as much as Magos gives you. Battlesmith 2, which is alright. Master of Machines, Flying Protocol. Plenty of options to choose from. Cool, not much to say about Tech Priest. I'll be probably using my 40k Tech Priest to slot in to save some money on buying that, or try to convert the 30k ones. But yeah, I'll probably have like 2 in my list, maybe 3. Tectral Covenant. These bad boys are funny. There's 10 of them for 100, up to additional 30, up to 30 for 10 points a model. So a squad of 20 will cost you 200 points. And I have 20 of them, which I will be running in the Trier Conveyor. And that's what these cute little servitors look like. They are your target unit. You want to throw them at something and hope they survive a round or 2 tying up enemy models, right? Expendable 2, that just adds to what I said, because Expendable 2 means if they are on an objective and the enemy kills them, the enemy scores 2 points less than what they would. So if you have Vanguard 3, they have Expendable 2, instead of getting 3 points, you get 1 point. Not bad. Rite of Pure Thought, it should be in the book somewhere further back. Lacrimerta, worth of noting. 6 up save, which is garbage, but Feel no Pain 6 up, which might mean that they'll survive a little bit, right? I don't know if we went over the stat line. Movement 5, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2, strength 3, toughness 5, wounds 1, initiative 2, attacks 1, leadership, willpower, intelligence 4, cool 12. So garbage stat line, but relatively cheapish for a target unit. Like I say, 1 round is great, is good, 2 rounds is great, 3 rounds of surviving in melee is fan-fucking-tastic, right? Talax Cohort, this is one of my favorite models as well. The whole fucking range is nearly all my favorite models, all my talking, I'm just glazing. But I have a little bit of a rant when it comes to Talax. So these are my 2 Talax, right? They have cute little faces on them, as you can see. That's Multi-Melta and that's the last fusel, Plasma Fusel, I believe. So I do have a bone to pick with this unit. The box they come in has 6 models. To run the max squad, you need 9 models, so you need to buy an extra box, right? And you don't get to use the whole thing. Fine. Next thing is, in 2.0, I believe, you could only pick whatever was in the box, you couldn't add any more special weapons, right? In this one, you can take as many as you want, which is great. The problem is that you do not get enough plasma fucking fusels, not enough multi-meltas, and not enough photon thrusters to equip the unit entirely with one type of special weapon. So fuck GWs, what you see is what you get. Agree with your opponent that your Talax cohort, all of the models have one type of weapon if you want to have one type of weapon, right? So if you are running only phased plasma fusel, tell your opponent, listen, there are no bits in the box, but the whole squad has this weapon. Is that okay with you? And just agree with them. If they're a nice person, they won't have any problem with it, right? And if they say no, whatever, that's a red flag that should pop up in your head, right? Because it's fucking toy soldiers. We're playing toy soldiers, right? Who gets salty over toy soldiers? I mean, I know I'm getting salty right now, right? But that's because of the fucking corporate greed that GW is showing, not because of my opponent, telling me that, oh, listen, well, being straightforward with me, right? And being like, listen, the box just doesn't come with all the options. Fuck GW. Yeah, just it's really annoying. It's really fucking annoying. But anyway, you get movement 10, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 5, wounds 2, initiative 3, attacks 2, leadership 7 and 8 on the Praetorian, cool 12, willpower 4 and 5 on Praetorian, intelligence 4 and 5 on Praetorian, 3/6. Deep strike. The special rule they have is Ages of Pain, which means if they're under a cybernetic status, they get Fear 1 or upgraded version of Fear, I think. Which, it's okay. Their damage output is where the strength lies, I feel like, personally. Right? Lightning Gun could also be a good gun just to have as a base model. If you want to run multiple Talaxes, Lightning Gun could be alright. Battle Maniple is the exact same, nearly exactly the same as the Destructor Maniple, except you do not have the special weapons to pick from. And I believe they have a different special rule. Yeah, they do not have Armor Breaker, they have Firestorm instead. So your Mauler bolt cannons won't suffer the volley shots thingy, right? Which it's okay, but I prefer the Destructor, honestly. If they could have special weapons, I would have picked them over the Destructor, but they don't. So. And same stat line, I think, as well. Next, we have Thanatar Siege Maniple, chunky boys. Let's go. I'll be running 2 of them in my list, and my camera just went off. There we go. Okay, we're back. We're back. Crazy. I think I hit the cable by accident. Now, as I was saying, look at these boys, right? There are 2 different configurations you run them in. One is Plasma Mortar Cavax, which is this one. And one is Calyx, which is Heavy Lass and Graviton Ram, which is this one. Slightly more expensive. 20 points. But these are fucking insane. Right, I'll put the small boy beside them, right? Look at this. Look at the size comparison of that. How? And then you have the Castellax, right? So we'll put the Castellax beside. Like, look at this. That they're not, they're chunk. We like chunk. The more chunk, the better. Anyway. Let's put these back. Now, Thanatar Siege Maniple, 225 or 245, depending on the configuration. 1 model. Movement 6, which is pretty fast for a fucking model at this size. Weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 4, so you wanna probably shoot with them most of the time. Strength 8, which is nice. Toughness 8. Wounds 10, which is fucking big. Initiative 3, attacks 3. Leadership 7, cool 12. Willpower and intelligence 4, 2 up, 5 up. They do have support unit 1, which means they can only ever score 1 victory point regardless of any attached unit, which is but it's still 1 point, so we take it. Firing protocols 2, which is nice, because they can fire all of its weapons basically. Automata, Cybernetica, straightforward, right? The points cost is a bit expensive, but it's pretty good. I feel like the stat line, from my limited knowledge, I feel like the stat line is very good on this. Armiger Moirax, model I don't have, 165, a single model. Movement 8, weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, strength, toughness, wounds 7, initiative 3, attacks 3, leadership 12, cool 10, willpower 5, initiative 5, 3 up, 5 up. It can move through cover, which is nice. It has implacable advance, it's a walker, it has good few options to pick from. And I don't think they're shown on the picture here. They're basically baby walkers. 165 I think is alright. But yeah, I prefer the chunkier boys. Triros Armored Conveyor, 200 points singular model, movement 10, ballistic skill 4, armor front 14, side rear 12, HP 7, capacity 22. It repairs itself on 4+, and has a shock ram. Now this is a fucking this is massive. Like if you thought the robots were big, oh my lord, I have a surprise for you. Hold on, I've actually put this together, and this is fucking huge. Right, look at the size of this thing. Like look at the size of this thing. This thing is bigger than Land Raider, and look at the robot beside it. Or the Automata, right? Like, we'll put it like this now as well. Like, look at this is massive. This is fucking huge. And all you use this for is to basically transport your conveyors, right? Your servitors, right? But it's pretty fucking cool. Anyway, Armor 14 means very few things will be going through that, because Armor 14, from what I've seen, is very powerful in this game. 7 wounds means hull points. It'll be healed very easily, especially with it on repair. And 22 capacity means I'll have my 20-man blob, which I bought in the army set from previous edition, and I can stick a character with them, and that'll be 21 slots, right? So perfect. Next, Vorax attack maniple. This is, I believe, these small boys here, which are pretty derpy looking to me at least. 2 models at 90 points, up to 6 additional for 45 points per model. Movement 10. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, strength toughness 5, wounds, initiative attacks 4, leadership 8, cool 12, willpower intelligence 4, 3 up, 6 up. It has the +1 to invul against shooting, which is nice. Firestorm, fire protocols 2, both of all of its weapon can fire, basically. Impact A, which is extra attack on charge. Fast 2, +2 to charge and run, and advance, or what's it called, rush. Implacable advance is also nice. It's a very powerful unit, I think, from the special rule, all the special rules it has. It's good at shooting and in melee. Now, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3 makes it slightly more awkward, but you can offset that on any unit if you add a appropriate tech priest or a magos or archmagos, because they have basically a litany, what I would call, or a rite, that would allow you to increase one of those two, right? So, in bigger squads, I feel like that would be pretty good. Voltrax Stratos Squadron, they call it a squadron, but it's a singular fucking model for 100 points, is these little Half-Life 2 looking things, which are freaky as fuck. Movement 12, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, strength 5, toughness wounds 6, initiative 4, attacks 3, leadership 7, cool 12, willpower intelligence 4, 3 up, 5 up. It has implacable advance, always nice to have. Firestorm, always nice to have with advance. Firing protocols 2, also very nice. Arc blaster, missile launcher, so both of weapons can fire then with that. Very nice. Don't have it, but I will probably buy it as well. It might not be in my army, but it looks pretty fucking sweet. Now, Karaknos Assault Tank. That's the model that's in my list, but I don't have it yet. I'll buy it. I said it to myself. I'll buy it once I finish my pile of shame of my 30k Mechanicum. One model, 235, pretty expensive. But movement 10, ballistic skill 4, front armor 14, side, rear 12, 7 HP. Very tough. Repairs itself, shock ram, explodes. You know, it has a mortar battery, so I believe a little bit of indirect fire here and there. Flare shields, 2 spawns on mounted lightning locks. I haven't really looked into this model yet because I don't actually have it, but from I can tell it's chunky. It repairs itself, and it has a mortar battery, which mortars always cool in my book. On a vehicle especially? Yes, sir. Now, this is interesting. Oh my lord, my screen's just went off. Hold on. I was so excited I banged my second monitor. No. Anyway. We have Cryos... Oh my god, everything's going down. Cryos Battle Tank and Cryos Venator. The only difference between these two is obviously the point cost, right? And the weapon. So, here we have the chassis, right? And all you do is just stick one weapon. Which, if I wasn't blind, there we go. Now, that is, I believe... I think that's the lightning gun. That would be the battle tank variant with the lightning cannon. And all you do then is take this off, slap this thing on, just like that, very easy. And it's a Venator with a pulsar fusel. Simple, right? You don't need to glue it. There are no magnets in this. It just slides in, like a slide into your mother's DMs. What? Anyway, moving on. Yeah, they look chunky. The weapons are 36-inch range, both of them, I believe, which makes them very good. They both apply statuses, I think. Yeah, for 160 and 135, I'll need to try out both versions and see which one I like more. But yeah, movement 14, ballistic skill 4, front armor 13, side 12, rear 10, 5 HP. Quite chunky with auto repair on 4 plus. So, yeah, Mechanicum vehicles look very good. It's Macrotech, by the way, on a trade. And that's it. That's all the units. I think we'll finish here. It's been 50 minutes nearly exactly to the dot. In the next part, we will have a look at the high-tech Arcana rules, at the special Apex detachment that every Arcana gives you, and at the different benefits that you get from having the Arcana rule, right? We'll also have a quick look at the Cyberturgy rules, which are kind of like your psychic powers, right? There's a lot to cover still. And then you have different rights, and every trait, like Lacrimerta, Reductor, has its own separate thing as well. There is a lot. Domitar, oh my lord, sorry, I'm gonna fucking jizz over it. Machina Malefica, these are just your standard Dark Mechanicum units, which I might go over. I'm not a big fan of Dark Mechanicum, but I might go over it in the next video. You have your 2 special traitors with the rules, the unit showcase, very nice. More units. Yeah, these look kind of derpy to me, I don't know. They look very, I mean, they look cool, don't get me wrong, but they look very old school. Like, I don't know if you played the LAPD game with like a robot on PS1. That kind of reminds me of that. And that's straight up from Half-Life 2. I'm sorry, that's a Half-Life 2 model. More cool models. Yeah. Special rules, which we roughly went over when we were looking at the units, so no need to look through that. There's fucking loads. And we might go over all the weapon profiles as well in a separate video. So yeah, that'll be all. Thanks a lot for watching. May the Omnissiah bless you, and I'll see you then. Come on. If I can stop the recording. Oh, at the end, just after I stop recording, there will be a picture of my entire collection of 30k Mechanicum. So yeah, go on.